So this is a true story, right? About when me and my husband first started talking a long time ago, right? So I had somebody that I would hook up with every now and then, which I told him this because me and my husband, obviously, we had to get to know each other. We were not a couple in the beginning. We did not originally start just hooking up. We actually, like I said, talked like a lot. We just rode places and talked about our childhood, talked about our past, just laughed and kikied about other people. But like I said, I be having these conversations with my husband, and I be thinking about stuff, and then he'll bring stuff up. But when we first got together, like I said, I told him that there was this guy that I used to hook up with every now and then. It wasn't all the time, every now, but when I wanted to scratch something or whatever, I had a person that I um, would hook up with. He didn't believe this, and we worked in a good field, worked for a good company and everything. And so, like, the company that we used to work for used to require us to work a double when your name came up on the list. So with that, working doubles, every now and then when I had to work a double, because I lived in the city like 30 minutes away from where I worked. I lived in another city, a little small city next to my major city. So when I used to have to work 16-hour shift and get off at 11:30 at night and drive 30 minutes on dark roads, 30 minutes, my body is sleepy. I'm tired. I am not a night driver. I will get up early in the morning and drive into the daylight, but driving from daylight going into the night, that ain't me. It never been me. So what I had told my husband back then was, every now and then, I have a friend, you know, that I'll go stay at their house, when I have to work a double. I didn't have to work a double all the time, maybe like once a month or something like that. I would have to work a double. But on these days that I worked a double, I would stay at a friend's house. I would reach out to that person and be like, hey, I'm working a double tonight. Can I come crash if it not? If they got themselves going on, obviously got something going on, or they're not home, obviously then I got to make that drive and I got to go back to my own place, right? But so one day, one night I had to work a double, and this is from many conversations with my husband, telling him, and he knew that I told him that when I worked doubles I would spend the night at a friend's house or whatever. So this is another incident of, you tell a person something about you and they don't believe you because they have this vision or this look about you that they don't want to believe that you could be you. So, like I said, my husband has always had this thing in the beginning that I was a virgin when I had a child, when I met him. He was one. So after months and months and months of going through this, finally, he was like, it's sinking into him, like, okay, he's probably feeling me now. And he's like, oh, you got to work a double today because it came out, right? I'm like, yeah, I got to work a double today. So, the tone changed because now he's starting, I guess, to feel me now at this point. I'm feeling him a little bit too, but I ain't all in, right? So, like, yeah, I got to work a double. So now he was like getting sarcastic, like, oh, so you going over your friend's house? I'm like, what? You know? He's like, so you going over your friend's house? I'm like, why would you say that? He's like, cause I see you working a double tonight, and I know I remember you saying about you when you work a double. Now I don't say this several times, but now that we getting into each other a little bit more, he's now wanting to know more and got like, okay, I already found out I seen this picture on your phone, so I know dudes or dudes sending you pics. But so I was like, yeah, I might. So at the time, the person is a grown person. I'm a grown person. I could hook up and hang out wherever I want to go. So I don't even really know specifically how he knew where the person lived, or maybe I mentioned that the person, or I go to a friend house over by so and so and so. So, the next morning I worked my double. I did stay at my friend's house. And that morning, I was leaving my friend's house to go to work. I was at the end of the driveway. And it's only a 2-lane road because the job is literally on this road as well. Like the job that I worked at, my friend of mine stayed literally a little bit down across the street from the job. So that is just how convenient it was for me to just, when I work a double, I just go across the street. And that's what he actually started calling the dude, the nigga across the street. But anyways, this next morning, I pull up to the driveway and I'm about to pull out, so I could go to work. And guess whose vehicle I see drive by? I know it's him because he's the only person that has this specific type of car. He takes care of it so nicely. He did anyways. He doesn't have that car anymore. He was driving by. Now, what he thought he was going to be doing is he was going to be driving by, one, to see if I truly am staying at a nigga house across the street. And two, just to see if I'm still there because he knows my car. But what he failed to realize about me is I'm an early riser. Like, I don't wait till the last minute. Even though the job was across the street, I was not going to get out at the last minute just to go to work. So this is like, I had to be to work back then at 7. This is like 6:40 in the morning. Now, mind you, he don't really get to work that early. So he literally made a conscious decision to leave his house early so that he thought was going to drive by the nigga's house across the street early to see if I was there. But I was already leaving the nigga's house across the street because I was at the end of the driveway getting ready, waiting my turn for cars to pull out. So when his car drives by, I see it, I'm like, all I said was, you're caught, buddy. So I made my left. I went to work. You can imagine what the conversation was at that point, right? So, yeah, that conversation was wild.